founder and CEO of Lora, which is a brand new self-discovery and astrology app that we are all creating. Alexa, Michelle, more of the team is here. Really kind of our idea around it is that, at least I felt, and I'm sure like many of you all, hopefully I felt this way as well, whereas like the apps that we use today, the social media products, the dating apps, like they keep us stuck in these very shallow relationships or shallow connection moments. They keep us scrolling, they keep us just like glued to our screens. And so when I heard a lot of people saying like I'm so lonely, I have no community, I started asking myself why, when like in fact actually I have like at my fingertips every single person I've known in my entire life. But I truly don't feel known because I'm not safe to say the thing that I actually want to say in these forums in the format that makes sense to me. And so I really started thinking about, okay, all the things that I've done in my career, like how can I put them all together in a way that I think makes sense to me. I also 3 years ago went through like a very traumatic breakup and kind of career just like implosion. And I started looking for anything to kind of help me make sense of what was going on. And so my sister who lives in LA and is very kind of in the woo-woo culture was like, you should look at like your human design. And that kind of led me down this like study and pathway of just trying to learn about myself. Really not as like I do not practice, I do not know much about astrology, now I know a lot more. But it was really about a way for me to just understand what I was going through, what I had been through, where I was going. I see it really as a mirror, as a framework to just like help you ask yourself the questions that maybe you don't ask yourself, like, you know, at the top of your head. So anyways, that is Lora. We are launching very soon. If you haven't heard about us, we'll send you an email after. We would love for you to be part of our early beta test. So Michelle's put a lot of work, really like there's a big conversation around AI today, right? And so what we wanted to do is to make sure at Lora is like from the very beginning that we had the community, the practitioning community as part of our community to build alongside us. Not for us to just say like, hey, do you like this? But to actually be part of the earliest days. And so you got Michelle on full time with us, and she's like really helping us understand both from an integrity perspective, like how should we actually be showing up in this way, and how do we use tools and technology to not replace but to augment the practices that we want and the connection that we want to continue to make flourish. So thank you so much for being here. And then I'll say something about
yes.
Ghosted.
Thank you so much. Yay. I don't know why your speech just made me emotional. So if I cry at any point today, so sorry. I think Ghosted was built for a lot of the same reasons that Lora was built. So if anyone does not know who I am, my name is Emma Zieger. My dad died when I was 9. His name was Jay. And grief is extremely lonely, but especially as a child, it is isolating. It's avoidant. No one knows how to talk about it. You get older and you realize, oh shit, adults still don't know how to talk about hard things. And we actually met through Experience Camps, which is a free week-long camp for kids who've lost a parent or sibling. And volunteering there has just changed my life. And I realized the power of community. Long story short, my brother's wife was pregnant with my now nephew. And I created a book in honor of my dad for him, and I posted about it on TikTok, and the video blew up. And I was like, oh, people need community, and I have the ability to create that. So it started as a podcast. I release episodes every Monday. It's called Ghosted because my dad ghosted me. Because we can laugh about grief. Like, it is funny, and I've just realized through building this, it only started in October, but grief exists in everything. It exists in breakups, in career changes, in your health, addiction, not knowing what's tomorrow. Like, grief is just in life, and we just don't know how to name it or talk about it. And so what started as a podcast sort of about my dad and interviewing people with grief, I think has really expanded into this beautiful thing. I do events, I'm on social media, all of the things. It's really fun, and I get to connect with people and reconnect with people. So it's incredible. So all that to say, thank you so much for being here. It's our first live podcast recording. I feel like I'm already going to be obsessed and want to do more. And why this one is super special is partnering with Lora is because my dad died when I was so young. I feel like I didn't really get to know him. And what we'll talk about is I'm going to be able to connect with my dad today through his astrology chart and my chart and get to know him in a way that I'd never be able to because I cannot ask him those questions. So, for our amazing guest today, I'm so excited to have Michelle. Like I said, we met through experience camps, but she's an astrologer and actually the head of astrology for Lora. So hi.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. I've known Emma since we volunteered at experience camps together, and I remember when I saw you were, posting on Ghosted, I immediately messaged you because I was like, this is amazing. No one talks about grief like this, and as a Gemini moon, I'm very much about just like being playful and how you speak about things is really important, and like speaking about grief in a different way, in a playful way, is so healing within itself. So I'm so happy to be here with you and to have you here at Lora.
Yes, thank you so much. And for welcoming us. Please get your pizza, all the things. But we start every episode the same way.
Okay.
Michelle, who ghosted you?
My mom.
Your mom, and what was her name?
Lori.
Lori. And how did Lori pass?
So Lori, my mom, died of cancer when I was 18 and she was 50.
Young. Yeah, my dad was also, he was 44 and also died of cancer.
Yeah. Our parents were born the same year.
Yes.
Are both our dead parents.
Yes, dead parents. Anyone else? 62?
Yeah, 62.
You were 18, so obviously it's like that weird cusp of being a child, but also people look at you as an adult, right? Like on paper. Do you want to sort of like walk us through what that time of your life was like, what you remember, that grief in that 18-year-old self?
Yeah, it was a really transitionary moment because it was like April of my senior year of high school. So I was very much like making the transition from being a kid in high school, going to college, prom, graduation, all of the things. So it was very chaotic, but it's interesting, like being 18, that's around the time you go through something called your nodal return in astrology. So it's this very karmic moment in your life, and it happens once every like 18 and a half years. And it's a time where you kind of get closer to your destiny, to your karma here on this, embodiment on this planet. And it's interesting because I do feel like losing my mom really affected, of course, like my trajectory in life, right? Like neither of us would be doing what we're doing here if we didn't lose our parents, which is crazy.
Does that fuck with your head a little bit? Because it messes with mine a little.
It makes me feel better.
Okay.
It makes me feel better because I'm like, at least it's for
a good reason.
Yeah. And I think that's why I'm so drawn to astrology, because even in the worst moments in life, like there is always a lesson that we can pull, and there's always like, there is a greater purpose, right? Like we see how we are a product of something so much greater, like the cosmos, right? Like the stars, like the vastness of the universe very much lives within us. And so when these horrible things that happen to us, and we grieve and we feel that pain, and that's important, we see the kind of greater kind of domino effect that has, and the greater like effect that has in our lives and in the lives of everyone around us. So in this nodal return moment when I was 18, so my north node is in Sagittarius and my south node is Gemini. So what that does karmically, it kind of puts me on this path of like, Gemini is someone who just like acquires information. You're like obsessed with like getting info, asking questions, just like, getting all of the information. And what Sagittarius does is it has a lot of answers. Sagittarius is like a philosopher, someone who shares information, right? They don't just keep it to themselves and study and stay in books. They go out and really share what they've learned. And I feel like that moment first, when my mom died during that first nodal return, that was kind of my first step and foray into what spirituality meant to me, right? Like Sagittarius is very much a sign of like religion and higher power and optimism and what all of that means for you. So I think that was kind of my first step in that moment to like getting toward that place to where I am now.
I love that.
Yeah.
So obviously at 18 you didn't know all of this stuff. So how did you get introduced to astrology, and how did it, I mean, you sort of said it, but shape your grief and how you manage it now years later?
Yeah. So, I mean, when it was happening in the moment, I didn't have any of these tools. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, there is no God, there's no spirituality. I mean, I was completely like given up, like, everything's random, everything's horrible. Like, why would this happen to me? Like, right? Like, and completely, I got my nose pierced. Like, really rebelled.
That'll show
Yeah, that'll show. I'm like, didn't ask, my dad. And then, like, that was, like, really
Wait,
crazy.
you just showed up to the house with the nose pierced?
Yeah, I was like, what do you think?
Yeah. He's like, I'm dealing with your dad, Mom.
He's
like, stop.
I literally don't even care. I'm like, great. My cry for help unanswered. And so I was definitely like, just like being with my friends, totally just like ignoring. And then it wasn't really until my Saturn return, which is, around the age of like 28, 29. So basically when COVID kind of hit, was when I really started to have more of like a spiritual practice. I was like, I did the Artist Way, shout out, like it's the best. And really connected to like, oh, what does God mean to me? What does like a greater purpose or greater sense of spirituality mean to me? And I started meditating and really tapped into the sense of spirituality. And what really like the Saturn return is about is Saturn rules, maturation and the structures of your life. And Saturn is like the authority in your life. And when you have your first Saturn return, which is around that 28, 29-year mark, it's when you're no longer the child of your parents and you are an adult in your own right. And you are almost like shedding this skin and becoming this new person, this new adult. You are the one that makes the rules of your life. So that's why people often make changes in their Saturn returns. They move, break up, the job doesn't fit them anymore, because we're realizing, oh, I'm living for me now, not for whatever I thought I was supposed to be doing. So I think in that moment I was able to find like more of an authority on, my spirituality, or able to really step into that in a way that wasn't so avoidant, but actually really tapped into something that made sense to me.
Do you think you grieved again? Like once you found this spirituality and were not avoiding those feelings? Because I think it's very easy for anyone grieving to avoid it, but then also as a child, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Do you think you had like another grief layer, or did it bring you peace?
Those layers come all the time. Every year, I feel like there are moments. I feel like they're never going to. Oh, the lights just turned off.
Oh my God, that's literally your mom. Hey!
Right, it's so true.
Yeah.
So, no,
she's like, yeah, you grieve me all the time, bitch.
Yeah, I do. I won't stop. No, but they really do come in waves, and I do think like a lot of it is astrological too, right? Because it is very cyclical. In the moment, like think about like the day, your dad died, right? The day my mom died, the anniversary is very hard for me. Mm-hmm. And that year, the sun is coming back to where it was when she died, and it's shining a light on that same part of the chart, right? And it's always going to come back to that part, and there's always going to be a cycle, right? When certain like planetary energies, like a Scorpio moon, like we have today, like Cancer season, right? These very like nostalgic, deep, intense energies that can bring up feelings of grief as well. But I would say the grief to me and how it relates to astrology is like it's a cycle and it's a pattern. So every time it comes up, it is like another lesson. It's another moment. It's another layer that I uncover. It's interesting because when someone dies, it's like, at least for me, like I was completely in shock. Right. So I didn't really feel it, right, until these other moments. Like maybe on the first anniversary, that was like a big moment, right? And then it just keeps kind of coming back in these cycles and in these waves.
Yeah, I relate to that a lot because I think especially being young, I didn't grieve at first because what 9-year-old understands what death is, but then there's so many moments in life that I'll grieve again or be emotional or be angry or sad. And I think it's interesting because from the outside perspective, if no one's experienced grief, they might be like, oh, it's been 18 years, aren't you okay? And it's like, well, I'm okay in this one aspect, but then there's 100 other things I'm not okay in. And I haven't been married. I mean, you're pregnant, you're going to have a child. Like I can imagine there's grief, especially having lost your mom. And so there's all these moments in life that grief never goes away. It just gets different.
Exactly. I mean, right. And life moments, life circumstances bring this up too, right? My wedding, getting married, she wasn't there. That brought up grief, right? getting pregnant. Oh my God, my mom's not going to be here to help, right? And she would have been amazing, and she was such a saint, and like would have taken such good care of us. Like, she's not here, you know what I mean? And that brings up another layer of grief. But I think like something that has really helped me in terms of like my journey with spirituality is understanding that like the light's turning off in the middle, right? Like, I do believe that she is here, and I actually think in some ways I'm more connected to my mom than ever when she was physically here, because there is this like more unconditional, all-encompassing, like you can always tap into it kind of connection with her now. And I do think like the older I get, like the more I think I look like her, the more I'm acting like her. She was always really cold. I'm like, sitting always with like my jacket on, like even in sunny California. Like, I just feel like there are these things where I'm like turning into her in the best way.
That's cute.
So I do feel still very connected to her, even though the grief very much comes in these life moments.
Yeah. How are you feeling being pregnant without her here?
It definitely sucks, but I also feel like my mom like sent us this baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course, like we're naming her after my mom, and like I just feel like she's gonna be there taking me through it all. I feel like there is this like people like us, like we have this something that we can tap into whenever we want to. There's this like special power, there's this special source that we have that nobody else has, right? And for me, like that's the power of my mom. And I truly believe that like her strength, like I can tap into it at any moment, right? And she was so strong and so persistent. She was a Scorpio rising, Capricorn sun. Like, she didn't fuck around. So like I'm like, whenever I'm feeling like super stuck, I'm like, wait, I'm not gonna
you're not gonna fuck around.
You're not gonna fuck around with me. Like, right, mom? Like, and bringing that in. So I do think it sucks, but there's also these moments where I try to kind of still bring her into the conversation and bring her into the everyday moments. Yeah.
I am obsessed with that for so many reasons, because I think when someone looks at grief, and even myself sometimes, it's like all sad, all encompassing.
Yeah.
But like that's so much of what ghost it is. It can be light and fun-hearted, but saying your mom is like, we have a superpower is so beautiful. And like we said at the beginning, so much of what we've built is because we've experienced loss. And at first that was a struggle to my own identity, but now I'm like, how incredible that we've built something because we've experienced loss or tragedy or whatever it is that someone experiences. And I really like that, like taking the death of your parent or sibling or whoever it is, or any grief, and using that as your superpower is beautiful.
Yeah, and I think that's something I learned with astrology is like, and I always say this, like everything has a gift and everything has a shadow, right? There's no one bad placement. There's always going to be something that gives you this great strength and something that you have to work on in every single circumstance. So that applies to grief as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
So can you talk us through how astrology has helped you connect to your mom? Because it seems like your grief has just changed so much in such a beautiful way.
Yeah. Okay, wait, should we look at the chart?
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, so we have the TV, obviously. it's a very small TV.
Yeah, you might miss it, so don't blink.
So when I started studying astrology, it was very early on, and I, of course, I'm looking at my chart because obviously we're all obsessed with ourselves. Want to know everything. Classic.
No, literally me, we get on a phone, I'm like, so tell me everything about myself.
Yeah,
You're like, well, I can only tell you so much.
I'm like, you're going to have to help me out here. But, so I was studying astrology, and I was like, I wonder if I could look at my mom's chart. Like, what would that look like? What would that mean? We got her birth certificate. We got her birth time. And I was able to look at her chart. Now, so I looked at her chart, and this is my mom's chart. Oh, wait, no, this is the clock. Let's look at this. Hold on. Open. There we go. Okay. So this is my mom's chart. And when I looked at it, it's like the feeling, like when the chart comes on the screen, I'm like, whoa, there's so much here. But like just looking at some of the kind of things that I learned about her through looking at this chart, like I saw immediately, of course I knew she was a Capricorn sun, and I loved that we had that in common. We're both Capricorn sun. We both have several planets in Capricorn.
Wait, will you before walk any of us
yeah.
through? Like what are we looking
What
at?
the hell is this thing? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a birth chart.
I'm like dumb it down for us average Joes.
Icons. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a map of the sky when you were born. Where my mouse is, this is my mom being born, taking her first breath, right? then all around her, these icons are all planets and points. Like you see, like, you know, the moon down there, right? Some familiar things. Here's the sun, right? That's time for Venus and Mars, right? So those are the planets. And then we have around the planets the zodiac signs as they were revolving around Earth. Now, what a birth chart is it takes a snapshot of this moment. So the minute my mom was born, we take a snapshot of what the sky was in relation to where she was born in Brooklyn, and we can see her birth chart. So, of course, I knew she was, you know, a Capricorn sun, but what I didn't know about my mom is that she was a Scorpio rising. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense, because your rising sign is like, it's how you go about things. It also can rule like how you look. And my mom had these really big blue eyes. Like, they were like very you know, you think about Scorpio, it's like a deep blue kind of like cavernous ocean, you know? And that was like my mom's eyes. They were just like so blue and deep. And when I saw she had Neptune, the planet of spirituality, on the ascendant, I was like, wow, you know, I knew my mom was very spiritual, but I feel like, you know, we were like living on Long Island, like, you know, back in the day. Like, it wasn't like, you know, there was so much access to like this kind of new age spirituality as we have it today. But you could just tell, like, she was always like, everything happens for a reason. Like, she was always pretty religious. And I was like, oh wow, like, yeah, my mom was really spiritually driven. And then I saw, you know, her Aries moon in the 5th house. And the 5th house.
What do the houses mean?
So the houses are areas of life.
Okay.
And the 5th house is the house of creativity and fun and play. And Aries is incredibly youthful, playful, creative. So I was like, oh my God, like, that's a placement of someone who is really creative. And then what this does is it emoted all these memories of my mom. I thought, oh my God, our office in our house, no one ever worked in it because it was just crafts. It was like crafts and stickers and art, and like this room full of just like play things and arts and crafts. And I was like, oh my God, like, that was because my mom was so creative. Like, no, it wasn't normal to have like an art room in your house. Like, none of us were quote unquote artists, but she was incredibly creative, right? She had all these different creative outlets, like needlepoint. She would make me like costumes for plays, like really. And I just felt like I learned so much about her, because I kind of think it's like, you just think like, oh, she was my mom, or oh, you know, this is when I got in trouble one time, or I missed when she did XYZ. But it's like, no, she was incredibly creative. And I'm like, oh, right, my mom is creative. My mom is spiritual. Like, my mom can be really intense. Like, my mom has a lot of Aquarius placements in her chart. She was very highly principled, right? She had a very like high moral code about her. Like, for me, like, she was my moral compass. And Aquarius, you know, they believe what they believe, and you're not going to change that, you know?
Guilty.
Yeah, guilty and Aquarius over here. So, like, it was really cool to see all this about her. Now, this is where it gets really cool, because here, I'm going to show you, this is my birth chart, okay? But who cares about me? I'm going to put my mom around me, okay? So what I just did was, this is my chart in the middle, and then my mom's chart is around mine. Now, something in your chart, this is kind of like a little niche, but let's learn about it. It's called the part of fortune. So you can look at this part of fortune in your chart. It's the midpoint between your sun, moon, and rising. And it's this part that when you tap into it, the universe rewards you. The universe applauds you. It's like this little lucky charm. And so mine is at 9 degrees of Aries. So, you know, my birth chart is telling me, oh, you know, take risks. Like, don't think about it too much. Like Miss Capricorn with 6 planets, you know, for the rising. Like, go for it, you know, and take the leap. But then, when I put my mom's chart around me, I see that when she was born, the moon was at exactly 9 degrees of Aries, right?
That makes you want to cry.
So, yeah, I definitely kind of first saw that. And it's pretty incredible, right? So, like, there's 360 degrees in a chart. And the
what chances, I was gonna say, what are the chances of that?
1 in 360, I guess, you know? So it's really incredible to see this thread between us. And I go, wow, like, me and the moon is like the deepest part of us, right? Our inner selves, our inner world, our also rules our mother, how we mother, our nurturing, you know? And so the universe is telling me, wow, like, you know, my mom's moon, right? This is my lucky charm, right? And that's why, I mean, like, she
oh
really
my God,
is.
she literally gave you this baby.
Yeah.
Like the mothering piece. Like, I'm like, that's so sweet.
And, you know, my mom would always say things to me me, like, I love that you always try things.
I have
love
the
that you always go for
chills.
things. So it's like, it really is this incredible connection between us. So astrology is an incredible way, number one, to look at the people who have died and learn more about them, but also to see the common threads between you. And knowing that our families, like, we are cosmically connected to them in this way.
Yeah, I think it's a thing, and I don't know if anyone else who's in the audience or listening who has experienced grief. I think the worst part of it for me as I get older isn't grief. Yes, it's grief around the loss of my dad, but it's grief about everything that he misses and that I don't know him. Like, I only knew my dad as the dad of a 9-year-old. That's not like a real adult. So seeing this is for you is just really beautiful, because that's where I get emotional. Like, the loss of his life for him and for me as an adult, you know?
Yes. And it just gives us a new perspective, right? It's not going to give you all of those years back with your dad, but it will give you this new kind of way to relate to him, So with that, should we look at you and your dad as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, make it about me now.
Yeah, let's make it about Emma. Let's make it about Emma. Okay.
Enough about you.
Yeah, we're done. Okay. So here's Emma's chart. Now, first of all, if any of you guys are astrology lovers, which I know you are, Emma was born on a full moon in Leo, so she is literally a clown. And she's like an absolute, like, just performer, like, loves
attention.
Loves attention. Like,
Yeah, anyone in my life would say that.
Yeah, and just
Ariana, would you agree?
Big presence, right? Like, just totally, like, living out loud in this incredible way. Emma also has a Gemini rising, Gemini.
That's what you have, right?
A Gemini moon.
Moon.
So we can't shut up because Gemini loves to talk, and Emma's a Gemini rising, who's incredibly curious, but also just like a total, chit chatter at her core. And she is an Aquarius sun. I will also say that Emma is in her Saturn return right now, which is really exciting. That moment that I spoke about when I reconnected with my spirituality, Emma is now finding this new incredible way to connect with her dad, with her community, which is in the 11th house of community. So finding this new community.
Crazy. Wait, my Saturn return is in the community.
Yes, in the house of community. Yeah. So
when did it start?
It started, you got a little taste of it in 2025 in the summertime, but it started officially on February 14th of this year for you. So it's since February that things have been building, and it will keep going and through 2028. So it's this big time,
You
right?
can't get rid of me.
Right? She's like, completely changing the way she connects with her community and
really
finding
cute.
a community that, you are creating yourself, right? Like, Saturn is creating the rules here, and you want to really find that for yourself, not just the community that you were given from growing up, but like, who are the people that are ushering you into this next phase of life.
God, why am I gonna cry? Okay. We haven't even gotten to my tad yet.
Okay, so then I said, let's look at your dad.
What does all the Aquarius mean?
Oh,
Does that mean anything? I'm just curious. There's a lot of squiggles. There's a lot of Aquarius, right?
Yeah, you got a lot of Aquarius. So Neptune, Uranus, Mercury, and the Sun all are in the sign of Aquarius.
Oh, those are all the planets. Cool.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So now, similar to what we did with my mom, we're going to layer Emma's dad, Jay, on top of hers. Don't look yet, because this is my mom. Hold on.
I'm not looking. Everyone close your eyes.
Sorry, everyone close your eyes. Okay, here we go. Emma's dad. Okay, now what do we see right here? This is Emma's moon, her absolute clowning, attention-seeking self. No, just kidding.
I mean, it's true.
With Jay's moon right here in Leo, right next to it. So beautiful. And so I saw this and I go, is your dad a big personality?
Correct.
Can confirm.
I get the loud from the Ziegler side. Like, it is from my dad through and through.
Yeah. And it's obvious that, like, you guys together, like, very much were clowning together. Like,
there couldn't be two of us. That's why they took him.
Exactly. It was like, right, you can't put two Leos in the same house. It's over. So, yeah, these two are obviously, like, just complete, like, two peas in a pod in terms of being playful and performing and being silly and having this big presence about them, right? Also, when I look at additionally between Emma and her dad, so when Emma was born, Jupiter, the planet of expansion and growth, was in Pisces. Now look where Emma's dad's Jupiter is, right next to it, right? Extremely close. So what this means was Emma was born during her dad's Jupiter return, which happened happens once every 12 years and is a time of massive growth, expansion. Things just get bigger in your life. You live bigger, right? And I think that the birth of Emma, you know, we look at this, her birth chart is a time in her dad's life, right? It was a massive time of growth for him. It was a massive moment of optimism and hope, right? All the Jupiter things of just like feeling like you are growing towards something amazing.
So the planets say he loves me.
Yeah, the planets say that your dad loves you so much.
Wait, that's really cute.
It's so cute. And, you know,
I was his like, because my brother's 7 years
7.
older than me.
Yeah.
And so, like, of course he would have been happy with any like gender, but my mom was always like, he wanted a girl. And like you came out and he immediately was like, hi girlfriend. Like that's the first thing he said when I came out. And like, yeah.
It's so
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Okay,
I love
keep
it.
going so I don't cry.
No, so then, I mean, even if we just look at Emma's dad's chart on its own, I love looking at, you know, just seeing like what Jay was like, because his relationships were everything to him. You know, he had his moon, his Leo moon, right on the point of relationships, right in the 7th house in his chart. So like his friendships were everything to him. And not only did he have so many friends in his life, they meant everything to him. His Jupiter in the 1st house, I mean, he is like such a big, loud presence. Like just like he walks into a room and it's like Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system, right? So it's going to take up a lot of space. And for like Jupiter to be on Emma's dad's ascendant is like, oh, he walks into the room and everyone's just kind of gravitating toward him, right? So he has this huge presence, huge personality. And like, was he like a big guy?
Okay, yeah. My mom likes to say he was skinny, and we're like, no, he fucking wasn't. Like, like I'm so glad that you think back that highly of him. But yeah, he wasn't like that tall because we're Jews, and that's not really in our DNA. But like, yeah,
like a Jewish 6 foot, 5'11".
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. And then something else that I love about your dad's chart. Well, first of all, I will say he was an incredibly hard worker.
Yeah.
Incredibly hard worker. Really strong Mars and Saturn. Like these are the planets that really want to work hard, that want to achieve something, that want to like discipline and just like go for it. And I feel like he was a really hard worker, like really like loyal almost to a fault, like would just like not stop until he got the thing done for you. Do you know what I mean?
You know, it's crazy that you say that, because something I think about is if we liked anything, he would be all in on it. Like for instance, I like had a state quarter book, and then all of a sudden, like I liked collecting coins, and then he was like, "Oh, we're going to every coin convention. Like I'm getting you every coin." Like things like that, where it's like he would take it to an extreme. Like if you like something, like I'm locked in.
Yeah. Like all in.
Correct.
No, I love that, right? And his Mars is in Leo, like, you know, is in that Jupiter. Like it's just so like we do it big and we do it all in. Something else that was really beautiful about his chart is his moon. It makes a square aspect, which is this like connective aspect, to Venus in Scorpio. And I just think like a Leo moon is like just such a warm, big heart, like very much leads from the heart. And with Venus in Scorpio, like again, I just think it points to like how deep he was in his relationships and how much he like was just so heart-centered and so really just like really led his life with love in a big way. So yeah, we love Jay.
Oh, he's such a sweetie.
Such a sweetie. So these connective threads between us are just like, there are so many ways, you know, so many things that we can look between you and your dad and me and my mom and you and obviously anybody in your life. And you know, mostly this is called synastry, right? Where we put two charts on top of each other, and most people want to know like, oh, is my crush gonna like me?
I did ask Michelle. I was like, so can you tell me astrologically like what type of man I should date? And you were like, well, no, but
I mean, a little bit. We definitely. I think bringing in that big kind of presence and personality is important for you, like someone who can keep up. But yeah, I just feel like it's such a beautiful way to connect.
Wait, the bullet point thing that you said that was like your centering point?
Oh, yeah.
Is ours also like, what does that mean, that they're close
same.
together?
They're the same. They're both in Sagittarius, that part of fortune, right? That part that is like kind of that lucky charm. For you, it was both, you know, very, very close in Sagittarius. So for you, it was really important, both of you, it's important that, you know, you really experienced life, that was important. Like Sagittarius is all about experience and getting out there and traveling and experiencing culture and like not just, it's really about getting out there. But for both of you, that's like a really important kind of thing in your life to do, is to travel and to experience like everything that life has, available for you to experience.
I love it.
Yeah, it's so cute.
No, it's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing this with me.
Of
It makes me want to cry, like the moon thing too. Like, are you kidding?
I know. And it's really, because the moon is the most like personal part of the chart. It is the deepest part of you, your emotions, like how you are, like feel emotionally safe and nurtured. And like for you, it was the same way. So I feel like he's someone who, like, if you were upset, like he knew how to make you feel better,
Mm-hmm.
Like that's someone who just understands how to like get you to really come back to regulate. Like it's our emotional regulation is the moon.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with this. And yeah, like I said, I think grief at any age is horrible and tough, and you start to lose memories and it's all the things, but especially at how young I was, to feel like I can connect with him in another way. And I don't know, to look at this and be like, I was born at a time that was like his awakening.
Jupiter return,
yes, like
yes.
that is just, oh my God, I'll cry about it.
I know, I love it. And something else that's interesting about you guys is that, so remember I spoke about my nodal return, my north node. So right now, actually the south node is in Virgo. So you're going through a nodal moment, let's just say. Your north node is in Virgo.
Okay.
And for you, that says something about how it's in your fourth house of family. So like you are here karmically to like connect with your roots, right? Connect with your family. And we see what is with your north node, your dad's Pluto, which Pluto is the planet of death. So it's interesting how we could say, oh wow, like your dad's death actually, yeah, through like the thing is Pluto rules death and it rules rebirth, right? It rules transformation. So it's interesting how, you transform and connect through his death, right? So that's like a big connection piece too. Yeah, there's so many ways, but it is true. Like this stuff is genetic, honestly, and it's karmic. And there's a reason like that you chose to be Jay's daughter. There's a reason why you chose this birth chart. And like I believe like when my baby's born, like she's going to choose her birth chart. And as much as I obsess over when she's going to be born in the chart,
I'm like, how do you not think about that constantly?
I do think about it constantly.
Your husband's in the crowd. Does she think about it constantly?
She does.
Because I'm like, well, if her Mercury's in this sign, like I don't know, that doesn't really make sense, and maybe but like I am totally obsessed.
You stick her back up. You're like, well, wait a couple more.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. But because of that, the thing is like I'm doing it because I have a Gemini moon. I'm endlessly curious and I want to know. But I am 100% confident that she is going to pick the exact chart that she is meant to have, because that is what I believe we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna compare her and your mom's chart?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. No, I already am like seeing some potential.
When's your mom's?
Like, no, I'm really.
So you're
like,
sick.
I'm sick in the head. Nice to meet you. But like we look at, these charts and we want to find the common thread, right? So we want to see like these connection points.
Wait, when was your mom's birthday?
January 12th.
January. Anyone on January 12th in here? Imagine someone's born
What
the
are the
exact same
chances?
day.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I had to ask.
So it's like, for example, like I see my Jupiter, right? That planet we were talking about, expansion and growth, sits very close to my mom's ascendant, her rising, right? Her rising. So then I can then pull a third chart here.
Stop.
And I can say, okay, these are today's planets, but I can look through toward closer to baby girl's
September, right?
due date, yes, September 13th, and I can go to that day, and I can look and see, what's over there? So here's Venus. And I think, oh wow, okay, my mom's ascendant was 7 degrees of Scorpio. My Jupiter was 8 degrees of Scorpio. Could my daughter be born around this time with 4 degrees, Venus in Scorpio? and like maybe she's born a little late, maybe it gets a little closer, right? Like this could be a really interesting connected point between all three of us, right? So really pulling all this in to find the thread, and then like you could do this for generation and generation and generation, and you see how it is really like an endless thread of trauma. And but also,
I was gonna say, could I like see why my
Yeah.
grandma's an asshole
Yeah,
and my uncle's a
exactly.
weirdo? Like, where can we fit that into the chart?
Totally. So that's kind of what I do, and we can layer all three of these together, and we have like all three of the matrilineage, right? Together here. So yeah, maybe she's an Aquarius.
I
moon,
can't wait to see
we
what
never
she
know.
is.
Yeah, me neither. So
Oh my God, I love
yeah.
that. Okay, final question that I always ask
Yes.
in the podcast, and then we will open it up to questions, conversations. We can all chat. What was the loudest lesson your mom left behind?
Ooh. I think so. I mean, there are so many. I feel like throughout my time with 18 years with my mom, she was always trying to teach me a lesson in the best way. But there are so many I've learned since she's died too. And I think that the biggest one that's really present for me right now is that it does come back to this idea of like nothing is ever lost, right? And I'm really obsessed with like now that we're having this baby and we're growing our family, like I'm like, oh, where are all my mom's things? Where are the photos? Where are like I don't have this, I don't have that. There's so much we don't have, right? There's so much we don't have, and we can make a huge list of the stuff that we have lost and that we don't have and we will never get back. But something that I have come to realize is like, as cheesy as this sounds, like love is actually the only thing. Love is actually the only thing. And it can never be taken away from me. Like the love that my mom had for me, the love that I have for my mom, like that can never be taken away from me. And it's this idea that like if love is the only thing, love is never lost, nothing is lost. Right? So just coming back to that and seeing these charts and being able to look at our common threads and look at the cosmic, bodies and stars that weave us together, we do see how alive that connection is. So I think the biggest lesson is that she is not lost. We are not lost, and nothing can be lost when it comes to the people we love. Yeah.
So beautiful.
You like
Thank
that?
you. I did. Wow. Okay. There's nothing else I can say except for thank you for sharing your mom's story with us. I always say ghosted is we turn the quiet of grief into stories worth shouting, and your mom's definitely one worth shouting. And the thing about grief is people's stories get lost if you stop talking about them, but everyone in this room gets to keep your mom, my dad alive, everyone listening. So thank you so much. If you want to see more of Lora, we can get you on, it's all linked in their bio, but then I will put it in the show notes, and also we'll send a follow-up email so you can become a beta. And then you can book sessions with Michelle or with other astrologers. We'll send all of the info. But thank you. And any questions, comments, concerns? If you hated it, don't tell us.
Yeah. No, but yeah, any questions about astrology, how this stuff works, anything in, your life that you're interested in hearing more about astrologically, any kind of questions? Yes.
Hi. I'm Meg, by the way.
Hi, Meg.
What does it look like if you don't have your dead parents' birth time?
Great question. So without the birth time, we can still see many, many things. The only thing that impacts the birth time really is this ascendant, like the rising sign. We wouldn't know the rising sign.
Okay.
But we can still, and the moon moves pretty fast, but it takes 2.5 days for it to move through a sign. So usually you can see, the moon within a few degrees where it's at. So what we would do is we would put your chart in the middle, who we know we have the birth time for, and then put just like sunrise or noon of that day. And basically, all of the planets, for the most part, are going to be in the same spot regardless of the time they were born. So we can always look at it that way and seeing, for example, there was a big Pluto connection with Emma and her dad. Pluto takes 250 years to make a revolution. So it's going to be in the same degree for many weeks, months. So that's how we would do it. You would lose very little in terms of information if you didn't have the time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, good question. I know, because some people, it's like we look at their grandma and it's like, well, she's born in Russia in 1912. I don't know. So we kind of just, it's okay if you don't have it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been incredible.
Oh, yeah.
What's your name?
Ellie,
Hi, Ellie.
I also lost my dad 4 years ago. And
What was his name?
Robbie.
Robbie.
And I wanted to ask how you relate to the parent left behind, because like you lost the same person, but you also lost a different person. And I don't have siblings, but maybe you know how you relate, how the siblings relate to your parents too. But I was curious about how do you relate since losing one of your parents to your other parent?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I'll start and then I think it changes. I think it's really difficult at first because grief is lonely even if you've lost the same person. You had a completely different relationship with them. Like I have a brother and I even sometimes look at my brother and I get frustrated that he doesn't feel the way that I do. I'm like, but we both lost a dad and we are completely different people. And I think sometimes that can be really isolating. But for me, as I've gotten older, I've grown more empathy for my mom. And I think it's hard at first because you're so in your own grief, your own emotions. But I think what I try to do is take a step back and say, she doesn't know what it was like growing up without a dad, continuing to grow up without a dad, any of the things that I've experienced, but I also don't know what it's like to be a widow. I don't know what it's like to raise children. I don't know what it's like to be alone now. But I think for a while, I mean, to be really transparent and vulnerable, like we fought a lot when I was younger because I did, not that I could understand at that age, but I did not get it. I was like, fuck you, you're moved on, you're this, you're that, like, and she probably thought the same about me, being like, why don't you understand? And so I think just learning how to remove yourself and realize that it is very different, which is why so much of why I love meeting people who have grieved is because you could lose a completely different person in a completely different way at a completely different time, and yet you're going to say something that I relate to that someone in my family can't. So I think that you might not be able to relate to that parent, but trying to have empathy and then just finding people who see things the way you do. That was a long-winded answer, but.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's so hard. Like, I agree. Yeah, me and my dad fought so much.
Yeah.
It's so hard. I think, like, especially, like, not to be gendered, but, like, I think the dads, like, are especially inept at the emotionality of the situation. And it's definitely hard. Also, like, my dad has a Leo moon, similar to, so I think he needed a lot of validation. And it was like, it was hard to relate to me. Yeah, sorry.
Literally, my love language is words of affirmation. I'm like, tell me I'm great.
But I mean, obviously, I have my dad's chart as well, so I'm studying him on a daily basis. No, but I think similar to Emma and also my brother is here too. Like we all had same house, same circumstance, completely different experience. I mean, me, my brother, my sister, my dad all react incredibly differently than the situation, and I do think it is very isolating. Because you're like, wait, why aren't you feeling the same thing that I'm feeling? But we really do all have our own experiences, and that is hard, which is why I think something like experience camps was so healing for me, because we all kind of like were able to come together in that. But I think over the years with my dad specifically, I've grown to have a lot more empathy for him and his situation. And, you know, he's the one that lost his wife, and, you know, how he wants to react, like that is his truth, and he had his own upbringing that fucked him up in his own way, you know, and I have to respect that. And something that I really came to with the journey with my dad, because we would go in and out and it was hard, but I came to this realization that I was like, I don't want to lose two parents, you know, so, and I can't help but love him. Like, I love him. I love my dad. Even though he makes me crazy, I love him. So I'm like, I have no choice but to love this man. And that's what I do, you know, and we learn how to love him. And that's really what it's kind of been like. yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Astrology, greed.
Telling us how great we are.
No.
Please,
Okay.
don't be shy.
Last call.
Do you want to tell everyone where they can find you? Obviously,
Yes.
Lora website, but what are your socials, all of that?
Yes. So Lora, we are at Get Lora. At Get Lora on Instagram.
Alexa keeps everyone in line.
And then there's Lora World on TikTok. And then I'm slightly spiraling on wait, thank you so much. On TikTok and Instagram. And then you can book a reading with me on Lora, on book.getlora.com. And you can book a reading with me and a bunch of other practitioners, some of which are actually in the audience. So Jacqueline.
Yay!
And that is, I think that's where you can find me. I'm on
Love that.
Substack.
Yeah.
Laura has an amazing Substack, you guys.
Love.
And also our Discord. If you're into astrology, we have a huge community on Discord that is super into astrology. We do voice recording readings. I'm doing them multiple times a week. We have other practitioners doing them, giving readings in real time. And there's over 8,000 people in there. You can get matched based on your big three. It's like finding people with the same exact big three as you. It's really amazing. But this is all kind of like us really like coming together as a community as we do build the product, which like everything will kind of be built into there too. So yeah, those are all the things I do.
Definitely follow on TikTok. I'm obsessed with your TikToks and all of
so
your
much.
astrology readings.
Yeah.
The Nyx one because astrology said so. And I just will leave it at that. Go find the video.
Yeah, it did. It
Yes.
did. All
Yes.
the boys were in their Saturn return.
Yep.
So it was a big moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yay! Thank you,
Yay,
everyone. Yay!